I was asked here today, I guess, as your customer, as a person that purchases a scaffolding offer, and so I appreciate the offer, and I just want to, I guess, just give some feedback as an end user on how it sort of affects our business and the importance that we see with scaffolding on our sites. So look, you know, back in the day we used to get scaffolding when we wanted to build stuff. You know, it was that simple. If we had to go a wee bit higher, or our ladders weren't tall enough, or we didn't have enough trestles, we'd kind of get some scaffolding if we had to build something or paint something or plaster something. But now we've also got scaffolding, and really it's key use for us on a one-storey residential site is to keep people safe. And that's not just our chippies putting up the trusses, that's everybody else, the roofers, the plasterers, the fascia and gutter guys, people working inside the building. It's there, and it's a critical part of our health and safety system. And so it's now a major component, and it adds to the other health and safety processes that we have on site. So it's just so important. It's been awesome as a residential builder to watch the efficiencies that scaffolding's now creating on our sites. When we first did it, our chippies told us they moaned and bitched and cried, and they did everything they could not to use it. And now, if they haven't got it, they're screaming for it. It's just so easy to truss out a house now using scaffolding. It's easy to get up there and whack purlins and knowing you've got nets or different platforms there to catch you, and to catch your tools and your nail gun as well. And it delivers productivity. All those things you hear people talk about with health and safety, with scaffolding and all that sort of stuff, we get stuff done quicker now and a lot easier. And there's a lot less stress on the tradesmen on site as well. So they're happier, you know, happy people work smarter and work safer. That productivity is awesome. And we know with good health and safety systems, it always creates other good systems processes in your business. And again, that delivers more efficiencies and commercial productivity. So scaffolding is just such a key component. And the last bullet point is there, it really does reduce harm. And I'm the same as any person in this room today. We don't want to hurt people on our sites. It's that simple. We don't want to hurt anybody. So if we've got something in our business that's reducing harm, bloody good. There's, you know, again, I've just talked about some of the trade applications that scaffolding's meant to our business. You know, our truss layouts are a lot easier. Our roofing's easier. Our roofers feel confident on site. If the scaffolding's not there, don't roof. The fascia and gutter guys, it depends where that platform is, whether it's 100mm below the end of the truss or whether it's a metre, and that would be some good discussion for WorkSafe to bring up later about that whole thing. There's lots of heads nodding in here. There's lots of fascia and gutter guys with sore back. They're feeling like dwarfs. Our plastering and cladding system people, our painters, again, it's just giving them another tool, something safer, instead of the ladders and the trestles and the three-step stools and planks and all that kind of stuff. Scaffolding's where it's at, and that's great. These are some of the expectations that we have, or the desires that we want as an end user. That top line is just so important. As a scaffolding provider to our business, to any builder's business, you touch so many people. You know, you touch our carpenters, you touch our construction supervisors, our roofers, our fascia and gutter guys, our plasterers, our delivery guys. You're involved with so many people in the food chain, and we really need effective communication from you. You know, it's building houses like conducting an orchestra. There's that many players involved, and you're a key player, such key player. I can't stress that enough. So as an end user, really effective two-way communication is so important, and that's my responsibility as much as it is yours. It's really important as a client that you're giving us what we need to comply with the Act, not only with the Act but also what we want on site. You know, we need you to do your task analysis. We need you to be part of our SSSP, and if that stuff's too difficult or it's too hard or our paperwork's not good enough, then let us know, talk to us, interact with us, but just make sure together we're really nailing it. We don't want to be the guy on the right hand side and both of us are wondering what the hell's going on. We all know what needs to be done. There's people out there that will tell us what needs to be done, so really keep that talking up. And the service offer is so critical. If Thursday's the day that you're going to be on site, you know, be there on Thursday. And again, it's a two-way street. We've got to make sure our sites are ready for you on Thursday as well. So it's a real teamwork thing. And again, I can't stress enough how critical scaffolding and timing of that is to the whole flow of the project. You know, if our scaffolding dates and all that get out of sync, it just affects so many other trades in the food chain. And it's just so hard, and now we're all so busy, so that's where that communication comes in. You know, a lot of your clients out there are going to have a real full-on commitment to health and safety, and as I said earlier, you're just a massive part of that. So if you've got a customer and they're making a big commitment, or they're trying to learn and all the rest of it, get on board with them, help them, and live up to that commitment as well. Deliver on their behalf. Quality is such a key thing, and it was great to hear Steve talking about training your people. It's just such a good thing to do. And, you know, and you're right, Steve, stop poaching my people. I get the same thing as a builder, but also reinforce back to your staff the money that you've spent on them and the value that you've put into them as people, and they'll be a lot more reluctant to leave. So that's a double-way thing there. But quality on site is important. We can all whack up scaffolding, but some people do it a lot better than others. So never settle for second best out of yourself as an owner. Never settle for second best from your employees either. And never settle for second best from your customers. If they're not providing good, clean, safe sites for you to do your work on, just say no. Just stop and say, please get here and clean up your site. Innovation, I personally just see innovation on site from scaffolding companies as something really critical. We're all being pushed to build faster, to build smarter, to get more efficiencies, to try and, you know, hold costs to where they should be and all that kind of stuff. So just the slide is, you know, I'm sure most of you are doing some things like this here, but some things we've been discussing with some of our service providers is, you know, giving us a flag at 4 weeks. We've got to quote the price and that scaffolding's there for 4 weeks. We're really busy people as well. Our builders are busy, our construction supervisors are busy, and sometimes they miss. Sometimes they don't have it there to ring and get the scaffolding down. So one of our providers has got a system where at 4 weeks a flag pops up in their calendar. Hey Rob, you've been there 4 weeks, we've got the kit, is it ready to come down? And that's just, you know, getting that two-way communication going and just taking something a few steps further in your service offer. Steve, you know, good one, QA on installation. That's just brilliant. And if you're not doing it, just do it. And I'm sure a lot of your customers are demanding it. And I know the people we work for, the insurers and the loss adjusters and the project management companies, they're asking for this as well. There's a lot of work to be done for all of us in QA, but like health and safety, it's not going anywhere, and it does underpin your health and safety. If you can prove you've got good verification of what you're doing, fantastic. Elevated floors, we're building so many houses now that are, you know, this far out of the ground from ground level, and there's all sorts of stuff happening. You know, there's drums with planks on them, and there's some builders are better than others at doing them. You no sooner build them and the next trade comes and rips them away. You know, I think, you know, can the scaffolding industry come up with some innovation there? Some of you probably already are, some of you are nodding your head. You know, bring a service offer to your clients. Hey guys, this is what we can do for you. You know, and we're going to do it for free. That's awesome. You know, and alterations, we have to alter our scaff, you know, through the job. Currently at the moment we're looking at putting our construction supervisors and some of our key builders to get them accreditation where they can take the bracing down and whatnot to get the jib in and put it back up. We're looking into that. We think it's got some merit, but again, if you've got something in your business where you can say to your builder, hey, here's an average fee across all your jobs. We know sometimes it costs more, sometimes we don't have to do it, sometimes it's less, but as a builder pricing work, if we know we've just got a set average alteration fee that will never change, we can price it into our work with confidence and we don't have to second guess, and that's quite helpful. And the sub-trades, you know, we've got different sub-trades out there that kind of need quirky scaffolding, bits and pieces, and you know, those guys are on site when you are, they're potential clients for you. They don't all work on my job, they do different stuff themselves, they're doing additions and alterations, so you might have something that's quite innovative that you can actually talk to those guys about or ask them what they need and just do it, you know, just talk to them. I'm sure there's some opportunities out there. I personally believe there's lots of great scaffolders in Canterbury, there really is, but there's also a lot of really smart, innovative people there. So if you've got your ideas, you know, just get them out there and have a crack and see how it works. Work with your builder and say, hey, how about this? You know, if you don't try it, it doesn't happen. This is just critical for us, not only in scaffolding, but right across our trades. You know, we're in quite a frenetic kind of a market at the moment. There's a lot of pressure on from people, whether they're the insurance companies or the project management companies, but mainly from clients. we're heavily involved in doing a lot of insurance rebuilds, as I know a lot of people here are, and there's some very, very hurt people out there for good reason, and their emotions and their tempers run at a very high level at times. So for us, it's the whole concept of working together. Together everyone achieves more. Sounds a bit corny, but it's true. We try and stay away from the bottom right-hand corner. We try and take that out of our culture and out of our site with our own people, with our sub-trades. We're not into playing the blame game or giving each other a real wind-up or abusing people. If that exists in our sites, we just tell those people to go away and we'll do business with someone else. So, work together, the right attitude, the right action, be accountable for what you do. She'll be right doesn't exist anymore. This is just so key. So that's all I'd say to you as business people, is really, really focus on that teamwork. And for us, that teamwork's with our scaffolders, with our roofers, our carpenters, our fascia and gutter guys, our construction managers, our admin people. We've got to work with you if this whole thing's going to work, and we're going to keep people safe. It's just so important.
With the Canterbury rebuild, we've got a huge job ahead of us.
And one of the most important things about that job is getting everyone home safely every day.
The Canterbury Rebuild Safety Charter is about coming together as a team to prevent injuries.
There's no I in team. Hey, lads.
There's no I in team.
There's no I in team,
But there's an I in injury.
And any injury is one injury too many.
Working safely is about covering each other's backs.
And it's not just one person's responsibility.
It's not just up to the bosses.
And it's not just up to the workers.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
From the top.
right to the bottom.
What I like about the Charter is that the companies that normally compete with each other are now collaborating. Really, it's the commitment of everybody that's going to make this thing work.
If you said that you didn't worry about safety, I think you shouldn't be on the site.
Yeah, safety on site is paramount for us.
It's a culture.
Over 100 organisations have committed to the Canterbury Rebuild Safety Charter.
We only partner with people that buy into safety and want to be part of the solution.
Whether they're our competitors, suppliers or subcontractors. It's simple.
Real simple.
Real simple.
Real simple.
We put in systems that help identify risk and prevent injury.
And we share our information.
The Canterbury Rebuild Safety Charter is industry-led.
And government supported with funding from WorkSafe New Zealand.
And ACC.
And the combined trade unions are right behind it.
I love the work, I love the fact that I'm rebuilding Christchurch.
I came over here for a new challenge. This is definitely the place for it.
It's nice to know you're helping out and putting in a bit of effort.
Feel like I'm making a difference.
We want you to become part of a great team and a legacy of safety we can all be proud of.
We're doing important work in Christchurch.
But the most important part of that job
Is getting home safely every day. Hey, darling. Hey.
Come and be part of the Canterbury Rebuild Safety Charter. Together we'll rebuild Canterbury safely.
Yeah, look, that last slide says it all. It's about getting home safe to your family. It's a no-brainer. So just to tell you a bit about the Canterbury Rebuild Safety Charter, like the video said there, it's a movement that was put together by industry, that's us, and by the government, with a lot of backing from WorkSafe and ACC, but mainly from WorkSafe. WorkSafe do an incredible amount of work for the Charter in the background, providing secretariat support. But as industry, we're actually there, part of the steering group and the working groups, actually making the calls and working together with government, but we're kind of running it, if you like, in a sense, and that's a good and healthy thing. And it is bloody good actually to see the government and industry working together in such a positive manner and achieving a lot. Who's involved in the Charter? The Charter was launched in, I'm just one slide ahead there, that's okay, 2013 with 50 odd signatories. It's grown fourfold since then. It's grown rapidly. The signatories are in sort of 9 different areas, and I'll just quickly whip through those. Commercial construction, construction support organisations, government, group home builders, horizontal infrastructure, insurers, labour on hire, project management, specialist trades, and then we also have other organisations that are Charter endorsees like engineers and architects and other sort of associated professions. It's quite simple. The Charter's about, you sign the Charter as an organisation and you're making a commitment to those sort of 10 mission statements or 10 commitments in the Charter. They're 10 very, very simple acts surrounding health and safety. And, you know, you put your hand up as a business and say, hey, I'm going to join the Charter. It doesn't mean to say you're a gun at health and safety, not at all. It just means that you're committed to it and you're publicly putting your hand up and say, hey, I'm on board with this. I'm going to show some leadership. I'm going to be a crash hot scaffolding company and really get into this whole health and safety stuff. You provide us wicked health and safety systems, but it's also important that you practice health and safety really well. How can the Charter help you? This is one example here. There's 4 key reasons that the Charter sort of put together, and here's some examples how we can help you. Firstly, we can give you measurement against your health and safety performance. So this is a result of a self-assessment tool where you can actually go online as a Charter member and go through quite a simple process and sort of click and tick boxes and give yourself some scoring, and then that'll give you a report so you can understand where your gaps are in my business. So where do I actually need to make things up? Every time you go on in there do it, it's all confidential, but we can capture all that information together and give some good benchmarking so we can see across different industry sectors where the gaps are and where the improvements need to be. This graph shows signatories that feel they're doing them well in areas of health and safeties and PPE, but are needing more support around impairment, health and wellbeing. This is just the start of the tool. It provides rich data which can be broken down into each particular commitment and action, as well as comparing the sub-industry groups that you work in, group home builders or commercial builders. But what they help you do is benchmark to understand where you're at and again where your gaps are going to be. And there's a very, very good guide on the website that helps you complete that tool. So there's lots of support there. The next slide is again just talking about access to industry information and support from the industry. And it just lists there some of the things that are available to you, again on the website, posters and toolbox talks, links through to ACC and WorkSafe and different resources. The Charter's not a training provider, but it'll point you in the right direction. And that's the important thing to understand. There's a monthly newsletter about things that are happening in the industry and a sign-in section of the website so you can share documents and other bits and pieces. Talked a wee bit earlier about leadership, and that's just such a key thing, and talked about the fact that leadership delivers culture, and culture is what we need to have an excellent health and safety culture in Canterbury and New Zealand. Leadership's not just about the business owners or the foremen, the site supervisors. It's about the leading hands and the workers and the temporary workers. All those people right across that spectrum can show and exhibit leadership. It's that simple, and we really, really encourage leadership. So there is a leadership working group in the Charter, and they've commissioned some really excellent research that's available on the website, and to define what health and safety leadership currently looks like in New Zealand and what it could look like. And from that work, there's been the development of a similar sort of tool as the self-assessment tool. So you can, again, if you're a business owner or a chief executive, or if you're a site foreman, or if you're a worker, depending on what level you are in your business, you can actually go in there and tap in what level you're at and assess your own leadership on site and in the business. And again, it can show you and grade you, and you can understand where your gaps might be, and again, where you might be able to get some training to improve leadership. And it's that leadership that will deliver us an extremely effective health and safety culture. The Charter has many, many different events, and they have quarterly signing events, and that's a good way to meet people and to liaise and network and sharing of ideas. There's lots of very, very good speakers at those events, and there's multiple events like today that the Charter gets behind and supports. And again, leadership's important there. And just flick to the next one. So, as I said, the Charter's been put together by construction leaders, and that's okay. You know, all the big firms are signed up and all the rest of it, but the real people that are at risk are people like us in this room that are from smaller companies or medium enterprises, and we need to take the Charter from 200 odd leading companies now and turn that into 1,000. You know, if you're a one-man or a two-man business, you can be a Charter signatory, and that's who we want, because us smaller guys, we're the at-risk group, we're the people that are getting hurt on site, and these are the people that need the training and the support, and that's what the Charter will provide. So, you know, I'd really encourage you to join up. There's Ivan there, you know, he's a convert to it. He just thought health and safety was bunkum, and we started chatting about a few things as fellow builders, and then realised that we're just being dickheads, not being involved. And you know, Ivan heads up the residential sector of master builders, and he's out there, and he's an advocate now, and he's promoting it. And we're seeing more and more of our smaller members getting on board and really embracing health and safety. They're not fighting it, they're embracing it. But again, it's the at-risk people that we need to join it, and you're the guys that we really love to join the Charter. If you just go to the next slide, and that tells you a wee bit about what's involved in joining the Charter. It's very, very simple. You just simply go and click on the website and make contact at that website email address. There's a very, very small annual fee. If you're a one-man band, it's $50, and then it's just pro-rated on your full-time employees. The cost just goes up. It doesn't ramp up. It's a very, very nominal cost. This whole thing's been seeded and started by government, and they've provided the funding, but now industry's running it, and we have to keep running it to keep delivering on that legacy of safety, and it costs money. So all we're simply doing is ask the members to pay a small fee just to keep funding events like today, and to keep being able to resource and provide tools that are going to help. And yeah, have a look at that. Please go online. I'd urge you all to. And you know, it'd be really good to see all these people at the next quarterly event getting signed up and becoming Charter members. And I believe there's one more slide there. Yeah, it's one of the big Charter commitments is to create this legacy of safety. Since the Charter started, what they realised when the Charter started, we were going to kill 2.1 people per annum. And I think since the whole rebuild started, right at the start of it, there's been one fatality. So we're kind of 4 years into it, and there's been no more fatalities, and you know, touch wood, that remains. And I personally believe that's because Canterbury has embraced this whole thing around health and safety and have taken it on board. We've still got a long way to go, but we are keeping people safe, and that's bloody brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. So there's a statement there, you know, from Cos Bruin, the General Manager of Downers, good safety performance is a licence to operate, you know. So if you've got good health and safety, you're there. So just keep maintaining it. Thanks very much for your time today. Cheers.